Hi, CMattDye here. Hopefully you're having a great day. Welcome to the video. I want to go over the top 5 CNFT market. I know this video is a little late, but better late than never, and I wanted to get it out just to highlight a couple things, and we are seeing some interesting things happening right now in the CNFT space. So if we look at the last 24 hours, day over day, trades NFT sold are up, volume is down, not that much, but it is down. And if we go weekly, the last 7 days, volume's down, but again, not by that much. Trades and NFTs sold are up. And then if we look at the last 30 days, volume's down by quite a large margin. Trades and NFTs sold are down as well. And then if we look overall, volume is still a little bit stagnant. So it's still not very good. You know, some people may say it's all right, and it's decent, but it's not the best ever. But the CNFT market is actually doing well. You know, the blue chips are holding up okay. Right now, we're seeing a shift, and that's what I want to talk about. So if you see the last 24 hours, the last 7 days, and then you look at the last 30 days, what does that tell you? Well, a lot of newer projects are being minted, and you know, people aren't spending that much for larger, more established projects. That's what it tells you when the volume's down, but trades and NFTs sold are up. Obviously, they're being sold for less, and that's why volume's down. So let's get into it. Let's get into the top 5. So if we look at the top 5, we have Beyond Citizens, Virtua SpaceBudz, Wild Tangz, and Melting Moonboy. So the only established project on here is SpaceBudz. SpaceBudz is going through a different thing right now where, you know, the art is a little suspect and they're redoing everything. The team behind SpaceBudz is a very good team, and I'm in the camp where they're going to be a good project no matter what. Some people hate on them, some people don't. You know, it's whatever, but in my opinion, I think it's a good project. I think the team behind it is good. I don't really know anything about these other ones. Beyond Citizens is a new one. Virtua, they have, somebody told me they have like Cardano's backing. I really don't know. Wild Tangz and Melting Moonboy, interesting ones. I just don't know much about them. If we go lower on the list, we can see Clay Nation Pitches, Clay Nation, Cardano Bits, Chilled Kongs, Ape Society, Cornucopias, Boss Cat, Vox Kongs, Pavia Old Money, Aqua Farmers, Dead Rabbit Resurrection Society, Dead Pixels, Clay Nation Good Charlotte. All of those that I just mentioned are established projects. And that's why I'm saying a lot of established projects are holding up, but the top 5, you can see a lot of these are new mints. So let's get into what is going on. And of course, Open CNFT is having issues and they don't show the floor price. So I have a little workaround to show you the floor price. But, you know, that's why I have a love-hate relationship with Open CNFT. But let's get into it. So Beyond Citizens, all-time high sell is 10,000. That's pretty large, pretty nice. They have 10,000 assets, already traded 726,000 volume, and in the past week, 571,000 of that has happened. So if we go to Beyond Citizens, we look at the floor, they actually minted, looks around here, around the 29th of June. So they've been out for a little, almost 3 weeks. And you can see 80s, 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 and then here's 70s over here. And then as it went up, it actually says the minimum sell is at 55, but the average sell price was 168. So they had a few sells go off at 50, not that many, and then the floor started moving. So now you can see minimum sell price is 165, average at 423. Here, average 402, minimum 145. When it dipped down here, average 276, minimum 160. So the floor is moving. And you can see down here a lot of what's being bought. Not a ton, but a lot is over the floor. So this is a project that has some legs to it. And you know, 100 to 130 is where I would be looking at. I don't know if you're going to get that price, but that's where I would come in at if I was going to get into the project. I don't really know anything about it, but just looking at what's going on, it looks like it can move for a little bit longer. So very interesting. Art's not really my style, this art, but you know, not every project is moved by art. So you know, I'm not going to name any names, but it just is what it is. So number two, Virtua. This is an interesting one, and it's had an all-time high sell of 34,000 ADA, which is nothing to sneeze at. That's very interesting. They have 5.6 thousand assets right now. And if we look at the floor, we can see that it minted over here, and they did okay. You can see the minimum sell still 200, even though they had a 2761 all-time high sell here, or average sell, and that's probably where the big sell came in at to make that average move up. But you can see around 200, and now it's at 190, 185, 189, and then that got bought up, and now the floor is at 201, even though nothing has been bought above 200 in the past. July 11th. So nothing, it's the 17th right now. So the past 6 days, nothing has been bought over 200. So that would be interesting if that actually happened. Now, if it got over 200 and stayed there and was able to maintain, that would be a good buy point. However, if it doesn't, and let's say it has to keep going down, right now, to me, it looks like it's basing, trying to find a floor, and that has not been found yet. So that's how I perceive this. We'll have to wait and see what happens. It's going to be interesting, but there's a lot of people behind Virtua and some big names. So we'll see how that actually does transpire. Next, let's go to SpaceBudz. SpaceBudz, of course, all-time high sell, 510,000 ADA. That's the largest in the Cardano CNFT ecosystem. And let's look at the floor. So right now, this is what they're doing, and the floor looks pretty healthy. Last video, I was looking at around maybe 2,000, 2,500 SpaceBudz would come down to. Here's 3,150 over here, and then we can see that was the lowest of this month. So it looks like 3,150 was the low of the month. You know, people are still buying off the floor. So it's not only floor sales, and that's what I would expect. SpaceBudz is a strong project in my opinion. I'll come in if it hits around 2,000, 2,500. If it doesn't hit that, I'm fine. I don't have to get in. But if that was to occur, that's what I would look for in SpaceBudz. Next, let's go to Tangz, and all-time high sell of 2,000. These things are hideous in my opinion. But they kind of remind me of the Grateful Dead a little bit, if you remember that group with Jerry Garcia. That's what it reminds me of. But anyway, 2,000 all-time high sell is good. You know, people were trying to buy this. 4.4 thousand total assets sold, and I think there's some kind of utility behind it. That's what a friend of mine was telling me, but I haven't looked into it. You know, time is the one thing that once it's used, you don't really get it back. So you know, it's a thing, but you know, so far the project looks decent. Let's go to the floor, and right now it's at 150. Minimum sell most recent was at 120. So the floor is starting to move a little bit. You can see that they have actually made some sells above that 150 level. So that's interesting. You can see they minted over here in looks like the 17th of June, and they kind of hovered around 30s, 20s, and now they're starting to pop. So there's some kind of utility behind this move, is what I would think. And I say that because I had a friend that told me there's some utility in the project, but they just weren't sure, and they wanted me to look into it, and I don't have time. When I do get time, I'll check it out. But right now it's looking pretty decent. With a move of this magnitude, I would look around 100 to 120. If it holds 100, if it holds above 100, it can keep going. If it gets below it, it would need to, get below and stay below, and it can come back down. But I'm thinking, over 100, it can keep going up, and that's what I would anticipate. So I'm not in the project, but that's what I'm thinking. Next is Melting Moonboy. Now, I do have some friends in this project as well. All-time high sell of 7.8 thousand. I haven't really researched it. There's 5.6 thousand assets total and 1.4 million volume traded. That's large. And a 7.8 thousand all-time high sell of ADA. That's interesting as well. Now, if we look at this, there's 1,181 holders out of 5555. That's a pretty decent amount of holders. Of course, open CNFT is not really working, but it does show the top wallets, and the top one's at 81. So that's pretty good. The last time I looked at this project, which was quite a while ago, the number one wallet said 2,000 and something in it, which was pretty scary, but it doesn't say that anymore. So maybe it was just a glitch. Maybe they actually just held some and gave them away. I'm not really sure what happened there, but open CNFT, I don't really like it, but I kind of have to use it. But anyway, that was that, and that kind of scared me, and that's why I stayed away from the project. But we can see now nothing to really worry about, and you can see they minted over here around mid-June, and they hovered around the 90s, the 80s, and once they got over 100, they kind of stayed over 100. So check out the sells. There's a 450. That's nice. 240, 399, 340. So you do have some sells off the floor, and like I said, that 7.8 thousand ADA all-time high sell is nothing to scoff at. And these things do look kind of cool. They're neat looking, they're different looking. So that's something to talk about. So I would say SpaceBudz and Melting Moonboy probably my favorite out of the top 5. Beyond Citizens has potential. Wild Tangz is an X factor. I don't really know that much about it, and the data looks good, but I just don't know that much about that. But anyway, Melting Moonboy looks pretty good. If it's probably going to stay over 100 is what I'm thinking. It may come down a little bit. I don't think it's going to come down below 150, but if it did, that 130 to 150 spot's probably pretty good, but most likely it'll be that 150 to 180 is what I'm thinking from just looking at the data. But it'll be interesting. Right now it's chugging along, and I think that it could be a good one in the future. So Melting Moonboy, I'm going to do a little research into it, and probably if I like it, I'm going to put out a video just on Melting Moonboy, because I think it's time to do a little research into that one. So anyway, that's the top 5. Very, very interesting that we have 4 out of 5 new projects. And you can argue that maybe Virtua is not really a new project, but to me it's a new project. If we look over here, they literally just minted in July this month. So to me, they're a new project. So that's very, very interesting there. We do have established projects down here, so they're still holding on, but very, very interesting. So that's the top 5. If you enjoyed the video, throw a like. If not, throw a dislike. I appreciate the feedback. And of course, any comments, throw them in the comment section below. Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll see you around the crypto markets. Take care.